Ah, sorry about that. I have a touch of death. But anyway, hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Tanks Blitz. We're here going to be taking a look at a new Tier 9 German Heavy, and indeed, I believe, the first premium Tier 9 that we've seen. Now, this is available in the Missiles event. If you don't know what it is, it's Wargaming, testing out how well ATGMs do actually in World of Tanks. Hence why they've got the T49A, aka the T49ATM anti-tank missile. So yeah, but one of the other premium vehicles, because you don't actually get to keep the T49ATM, which is sad for a lot of people, but one tank that you can get and keep is this, which is the KpfPz 70, aka the Main Battle Tank 70, or MBT 70, which was a joint German-American design, of which 14 were made. And yeah, it's a joint design between American and German forces after World War II to create something new. And it says that it is an enriched vehicle, but I don't think it is, because if you look at the little icon here, you can see that it's got the typical premium tank design on it, as in the fact that it's got the solid gold lettering for like the name, the tier, and the tank type. Whereas if you take a look at the Tiger 1, it's got the same sort of white writing, albeit it is slightly beige, and then it's got really bright glowing tier and tank type, whereas the VK hasn't got that. It's got the standard premium tank icon, and that's why I think this is technically a premium tank, but you can call it what you will. I'll call it a premium tank just because it's easier. And well, it's a joint American-German design. As you can see, it's got sort of got an M1 Abraham hull design, or at least the beginnings of one going on there, and then it's got this funny looking turret, which is also fairly M1 in nature, although the front of the turret is different. Sorry, I'm still dying. So yeah, this is the new German Tier 9 Heavy that we have in the game, and you can either win it by being within the top 1,000 people by I think damage done, and you can view it on the leaderboard, or you can make bad life decisions and actually purchase container to get charms. And we all know about how charms work, and well, here you go. Here are your charms. You can get 5,500 of them in varying ways, but usually by opening chests. And then you can, once you have enough of them, you can. It automatically unlocks the KpfPz 70 or the MBT 70. So we'll take a look at the stats here: 63% protection, 50% firepower, 76% shot effectiveness, and 34% maneuverability. And the maneuverability is the interesting thing, because if we look at the 75, it's got 79% protection, 51, 80, and 27. So yeah, the KpfPz 70 is far more maneuverable than the 75, but with less protection, less firepower, and less shot effectiveness. Well, I don't want to buy gold yet. So yeah, but if we take a look here, it's got 1700 HP, which is joint for the least amount for any tier 9, sorry, heavy tank. It's joint with, I think, the M103, perhaps. But yeah, it's not a lot of HP. As for the armour, well, the hull armour is 120 at the front, 90 at the side, 60 at the rear. The turret armour is the same side and rear, but with 200 front. And that does mean that if you sort of angle the front of it like this, keeping this section sort of hidden, that becomes a more effective armour angle, and you can bounce things from the front. But going frontally on with someone, they'll get through your frontal armour pretty easily. But when it comes to the turret, it's good at being hull down. Not as good as American tanks, but it is good at being hull down because it's 200 at the front base. But then look at this sloping and rounding. It's not as thick as the 75, which has got 252 frontal turret. However, that's a flat slab, almost. It's got like 5-10 degrees of sloping there, which is basically nothing. But this, if you look at it, that's A, sloped, and B, rounded, which means that that's a very, very good effective thickness. Plus, the gun mantlet is a funny shape. It's got that sloping there. As for frontal weak spots on it, that's a weak spot, but it's very difficult to hit, as is the hatches. But here's the biggest weak spot, which is right here. This area, if you can penetrate in there, well, if you can hit there, you'll penetrate. That's the biggest weak spot, which is that area back there. That is a hitbox. You can penetrate through there. So if you do come across one of these things, and he is going hull down, and you can't really hit that because you don't have the accuracy, go for this side if you can. Sorry. But yes, so that is the armor profile. As for the maneuverability, it's actually pretty good. It's almost medium tank, or at least it's quicker heavy tank maneuverability. The tank only weighs 50 tons with an 840 horsepower engine, bearing in mind that I do have improved fuel and also one of the control specializations to increase the tank mobility. And well, yeah, 40 kilometers per hour top speed, that's not bad for a heavy tank. That's pretty sprightly. Plus it gets up to it pretty quickly as well. It's got a 35.74 degrees per second hull traverse and a 21.87 degrees per second turret traverse. So the turret traverse isn't great, but the hull traverse is really good. It's a bit like having a medium tank, but with a heavy tank turret slapped on the top. Because main battle tanks are designed to sort of do everything. They're sort of jack of all trades, and that is sort of what this thing is. It's got decent enough armor, it's got decent enough speed and mobility, and the gun is alright as well, and we'll come on to the gun because it's caused a stir. But yeah, so overall mobility, it's sort of the Carnarvon is pretty mobile, and this is more mobile than the Carnarvon, I would have to say. So I mean, yeah, it's really mobile for our tank. As for the engine is an AVCR 1101, which has got 15% chance of fire and impact. It's got decent horsepower, so I mean, yeah, it's a decent enough engine. As for the view range is 290 meters, which is pretty good actually. That's very decent view range. Yeah, good traverse speed. But now we come to the gun, as I keep dying. Now the gun is an XM150E5, and what it is, it's a 152mm gun, as you can see. And if we compare its stats to the E100, but first we'll list through the stats. So 3.87 rate of fire rounds per minute, 240 average pen with AP, or in this case APCR as it's stock ammo. So yeah, 240 with APCR, 305 with heat, 90 with high explosive, 560 average damage with APCR, 480 with heat, 640 with HE, 0.36 dispersion, 4.7 second aim time. Now if we compare that to the E100, because that also has got a 150mm gun, as you can see, 15.0 centimeters. So yeah, it's a 15 centimeter KWK L38. That's got a 3.91 rate of fire, 258 with AP, 334 with heat, 85 with HE, 640 average damage with AP, 550 with heat, 960 with HE, 0.38 dispersion, 5.7 second aim time. Now, this is what's caused the biggest stir from people, which is that they're the same caliber of gun, therefore they should have the same average damage, right? And the same sort of penetration. And, well, the penetration for tier 9 isn't that bad. I mean, the 75 has got 246 average pen, and this has got 240. So I mean, the average pen is all right for tier 9. I would have to say it's all right tier 9 pen. I mean, with heat you get over 300. So I mean, yeah, it's decent enough. 90 with HE, which is the big thing, and I will come on to why I think it has got so much pen with HE in a moment. And it does, what was it, 550? 560 average damage with APCR. 640 with HE. This gun, which is a 150, does 640 base with armor piercing, 960 with high explosive. So it's got less damage than a regular 150. It's got less pen than a 150. It's more accurate than a 150 with a better aim time. But even so, it's not that accurate. I mean, if I was to get the refined gun, it would go down to 0.34 dispersion, which is better. That's pretty good dispersion right there. But the aim time's a little bit on the slow side. I mean, the 128 has got a better, better penetration, but probably that is due to the length of it. Because I mean, that's a pretty stubby gun. If I was to say, I mean, there's the 128 on the 75. There's the 150 on the KpfPz. There's the 150 on the E100. So I reckon the length has probably got partly the reason why it has less penetration. But the biggest is, of course, the average damage, plus the rate of fire. I mean, this thing has got a 3.87 second rate of fire, including gun rammer and both premium chocolate consumables. The 75 has got a 4.64 rate of fire with just a gun rammer. The E100 has got a 3.91 with just a gun rammer. It doesn't even have chocolate on it. With chocolate, it would go up to over about, I'd say 4.15 rate of fire rounds per minute. So this thing is slow. You can't out TPM people because it's got a very long reload time, over 15 seconds. I mean, the average damage is good. It's the highest out of any of the tier 9 heavies, which is good. That is, of course, a bonus. I mean, those times that you do hit, you will be doing more average damage, but I believe it's got way crazy, like, plus and minus figures for the amount of damage it can do, like when it RNGs. Like, you can do less than 500 when you hit, or you can do over 600. I mean, that's a lot of hit points difference, and that's another bit of it. But now we come on to the high explosive. And the reason that I think it's got so much high explosive penetration is because of the whole missiles exercise event. Now, this tank doesn't have directly anti-tank missiles. It doesn't have anti-tank missiles in the sense of you fire a missile like the T-49A. But I believe this is a smoothbore gun, or is it? No, it's not. It's a rifle. No, I can see it's a rifle gun. So yeah, this is a rifled gun, but it was designed to fire, and I'm probably going to mess up the name here, but I'm going to say that they're Shillelagh anti-tank guided missiles. I believe I've probably pronounced that incorrectly, very badly incorrectly, and I apologise for that. But yeah, the Shillelagh anti-tank guided missiles, and I believe that's why the high explosive has got so much penetration, because it's sort of trying to stand in for the anti-tank missiles when you fire them. So instead of firing a missile, you're just firing a high explosive shell, which is, you know, a faux missile, as it were. That's the only reason I can think of it for having so much HE pen. I mean, it's nice that it's got so much HE pen, because I mean, you can easily penetrate the rear of this thing, and indeed some of the sort of medium tanks at tier 9. I mean, so yeah, it's useful in that sense. But yeah, it is a bit odd, I will grant you. The gun is a bit of an odd thing. I mean, it is a fairly short, stubby gun, so we can probably attribute a lot of its fallings and odd stats due to its rather stubby length. But yeah, so now we come to the ammunition. It does carry 50 rounds of 15.2 centimeter ammunition. So you can mount some of your HE, your heat, and your APCR. So yeah, that's enough ammunition to last you through any game. So yeah, you don't have to worry about running out of ammo, because this thing's got a slow rate of fire. As for provisions, you've got your standard fuel and your improved fuel for 3 and 10% respectively to engine power and turret reverse. Then you've got the chocolate bar and chocolate for 3 and 10% respectively to crew mastery. I would suggest getting both of those, because the rate of fire without them is so slow. But yeah, so I would suggest getting some of them. And then you've got the protective kit. 15% of protection accrued from injuries, 10% speed and module repair, 20% fire protection, and 10% ammo and fuel tank durability. So you can go ahead and stick some of them if you want. I would suggest definitely the chocolate bar and chocolate. It's up to you as to whether or not you want to get improved fuel. I did because it's 800, no, less than that, like 750 horsepowers without the improved fuel. So yeah, if you want to, you can go ahead and mount that. If not, just the 2 chocolates will be fine. That's what you really need. As for consumables, you've got the standard repair first aid fire extinguisher. Then you've got engine power boost, 20% to engine power for 15 seconds. You've got the adrenaline, 20% to low speed, 10% chance to engine any vehicle modules for 15 seconds, 75-second cooldown on both of them, and then you've got the multi-purpose restoration pack, which is those 3 things rolled into one. So you can go ahead mount some of them if you want. I'm going with the 3 standard. Adrenaline may not be such a bad idea on this tank. I mean, it does have a slow rate of fire, so I mean, adrenaline's going to be useful in those high impact situations, as it were. As for equipment, when you actually unlock this tank, it will come with 6 of the equipment slots already unlocked. It will come with the tier 1 and tier 2 equipment levels completely unlocked, which is nice. But yeah, I would say probably leave it stock. I mean, you're going to want the gun rammer, because that rate of fire is slow. I mean, it'd be nice to have 252 penetration, but unfortunately the way that they've got this equipment working, you have to choose one or the other, and I would say gun rammer, but then again, up to your discretion. I mean, over 250 pen is good. So I mean, yeah, it's a toughie, but I would say gun rammer. Then protected modules for 10% protection of engine, transmission, and ammo rack, and 10% to suspension and fuel tank durability. Then I would say coated optics. Cabinet may not be such a bad idea, but I mean, I would say coated optics. Then you're going to want the enhanced gun lane drive, because it's a fairly slow aim time anyway, but I would say definitely go with the enhanced gun lane drive. I mean, the supercharge would be nice, but again, how they've set it up. As for improved assembly or enhanced armor, it's a tough one, quite honestly, because the enhanced armor will increase your turret armor, which is what you want, but then again, more HP. It's a toss-up. Again, it's very difficult, but I would say enhanced armor. As for improved control or engine accelerator, again, sort of up to you. Improved control is nice to get it over 35 degrees per second, which is good for a heavy tank. I mean, this is a main battle tank, so it's a sort of jack of all trades. So, I mean, the increased traverse speed is going to be nice. Then I would say go for refined gun for the better dispersion down to 0.34, which is good dispersion at that point. That's good dispersion. 0.34 is fairly accurate, so yeah, definitely go with refined gun. Then I would say enhanced tracks, but then again, it is again up to you, and then your choice of whatever the hell those 2 things are. So overall, it is an odd tank. I will grant you that. It is a jack of all trades, pretty much. It is a main battle tank. It's got good high explosive pen. The actual damage itself is odd, as is the penetration, but again, I think we can attribute that to the stubby gun. Because as we all know, the longer the barrel, the more penetration it has. That's why the L100 on the Panther here, that's why this has got so much penetration, because it's so long. So I mean, yeah. So due to the short length, that's probably going to be why it has such little penetration for a big gun like this. But yeah, so overall, it's good at being hull down if you can sort of keep that hidden. If you can do peek-a-boom tactics, sort of pop out boom, because that's really what you have to do with this long reload, a bit like ISs and things. You can size grade, but I would advise against it. Yeah, biggest weak spot is there, so if you come up against this, aim for it there, and you'll do fine. But yeah, it's a very unique tank. It comes with a special camo, Steel Cavalry, which gives it the modern Bundeswehr camouflage, which is nice camouflage. I do like the Bundeswehr camouflage that they have. This sort of green and black camouflage. It is nice, and it's just a unique camouflage, legendary. So I mean, yeah, it's nice. So yeah, that is the KpfPz 70 or the MBT 70. I'll thank you all for watching, and goodbye.